All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Forge Your Life podcast. Here with your host, Richard Fu from The Ultimate Man and richardfu.com. And today I have one beautiful woman on the show here that I'm really excited for. We had her other half on just earlier, Suzanne Raja. And today we have Suzanne Raja. She is the embodiment of female radiance. And she really helps people deeply get into their feminine power. Not only that, she doesn't just work with women, guys. She actually works with guys to actually help them bring more presence, more truth, more masculinity with the femininity into this world, and really just helps them grow, stand tall, and most of all, for women to be in their natural glow. Suzanne is the embodiment of love. And that's why I'm excited to have her here in this show, because I've heard so much about her. So guys, please welcome Suzanne Raja. Right, Suzanne, good to have you in.
Hi, guys. Hi, Richard. Thank you for having me on. That's awesome.
Yes, and so you are the other half of WarriorSage. And so for the people who haven't heard about you before, Suzanne, could you share with us a bit more about yourself and how you actually got to where you're at?
Oh, well, let's see. Myself. Well, I could tell you that I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a lover of the same husband. And, we've been together for, our daughter is 20 this year. So 21 years married, and 8 years before that dating, and 4 years before that we knew each other. So we've been together for a long time. My husband,
lifetime, right?
Lifetime, yeah. So we've had our ups and downs as a couple, and we always wanted to know, how can we continuously up level. And so that's how I got into what we're doing right now, is by up leveling ourselves and finding out the best of the best, and then being the test kitchen for that. And really, we are the test kitchen, my husband and I, and we're here to share what we know. And yeah, that's what we're doing here.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful. And Suzanne, I want to ask you a question here, right? For some of the people who are in a relationship, right? And let's say, was there ever a point for you and Suzanne where maybe one of you were ahead of the other, like really into let's up level, and you're like, oh, come on, right? I'll up level a little bit, right? If they're at different paces, right? How have you been in that situation? How have you guys dealt with that?
We have. And I confess to you, my husband was actually ahead of me. In a way, in the sense that he's always been wanting to transform and be brand new and learn new things about how he can go deeper in life. Now, when I say ahead of me, he had learned a lot of things. He'd gone off and done a lot of stuff. And we also have kids. So I was there. I was home with the kids and all of that. He was off doing his thing. And he was like, whoa, this is cool. This is great. I'm learning this. I'm learning that. I'm sitting there going, yeah, that's awesome. I'm here with you. I'm at home. That's like, give me a break right now, right? So I actually I was the one that felt held back. And I was the one that felt like he was going faster than I was. But what I later realized was that wasn't actually the case. I was where he was at. I've always been that way, but I just didn't know that. And the languaging was just different. But we managed to move through it because I started getting interested in, what are you up to? Rather than resentful, I started to get interested. And I think that's what we need to do when we feel like our partner is moving. Just like, get interested. What are you doing? And try and find that out, right? It could be awesome, which it is.
That's amazing. And such great advice that you shared there, because I was just going to ask, how do you actually shift yourself from being that resentful? It's like, I'm at home with the kids and I feel like I'm being held back, and you're out there doing your thing, going into the bush and doing all this other stuff.
I know. I was resentful. I was angry. I was upset with him for the most part. And you know what? The truth is that as a couple, when that starts to happen, you get distracted. And we both got distracted. So there are people that will come into your life that will go, oh, hey, he's not doing what you're doing. I can help you out with that. Or she's not doing what you're doing. I can help you out with that. You know what I mean by distractions? Well, that too happened in our life. And those were moments where it was like make or break.
Yeah.
What do we do? Are we going to get distracted by someone new that shows up and goes, hey, I can show you the world, and forget about the one that you've been with all that time? There's a crossroads, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we had crossroads in our life, and every single time we came back together. We turned away from the crossroads, turned into each other, and started getting interested again with each other, and went, this could be either old news or brand new, you know?
Yeah.
Brand new. That's what shifted it all.
Wow. And that must take a lot of like courage, a lot of like willpower to actually be able to turn away from those temptations, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But it's like, here's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got to have an intention for your relationship. Relationship is more than just getting together. Hey, you look good. Hey, let's get together. Let's have a family. That's all nice.
Mm-hmm.
But can this person, is the person that you're wanting to connect with, are they going to take you deeper than you would yourself? Meaning, my husband is one that he inspires the love of my life. He inspires what makes me happy. He inspires me to do things that make me happy. And in the same way, it's the same for me with him. Mm-hmm. And anyone else just doesn't know me that way. And so it was like, let's take this beautiful organism that we have that's called our relationship, and let's water that. Let's take care of that instead of watering all the others all over the place. Because, you got to make a decision. So. Yeah.
And I love what you said here. You said that, it's about him or your partner inspiring you to be happier, inspiring you to love more. And that's what interests me, because most people think, I come into a relationship, it's your job, Suzanne, it's your job to make me happy. It's your job to make me feel loved, right? And then the blame shifts over to them and the responsibility shifts over to them. But I see what you're doing here, and this is what I love the most. And I want to extract that for the people listening, because it's about them inspiring you so you go and up level, right?
Yes. And Richard, I'm so glad you put it that way, because here's what I'm going to add to this. Mm-hmm. And that is, you are 100% responsible for the relationship. Each one of you is 100% responsible for the growth of that relationship. Mm-hmm. And so you're not waiting for the other person to do something. It's like me first. You got to have that disposition of me first. And when you do that, your relationship is alive.
And so when you're saying like me first, it's not to be selfish, but it's to do things for yourself first, or like explain that a little for the people who are listening here.
Oh, good. I'm glad you asked that. Okay. So what that means is me first, like, I want to serve you first. I want to be the one to serve you first. Mm-hmm. It's not, will you serve me? It's like, I want to be the first one to serve you. And your partner's got to be of the disposition, I want to serve you. And not to wait and to give when they least deserve it.
No, here we go. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You want the same thing, don't you? You want them to love you. You want them to trust you when you're least at your highest, right? That's when you really know that person is the one, because you're giving and you're receiving when it's least optimal.
I get you. So it's kind of like in those moments where you're arguing, right? And you can continue to argue and try and be right, or you just shift off and go, look, there's nothing, no one's going to win from here. So let's try and give what they need, right? So that we can actually, and not give in to the fight, but give them what they're actually really screaming out for, isn't it?
Absolutely. Turn around, do something crazy. You know what I mean? Like if you're a guy out there, if you're a guy and your woman is like, rah, 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 she's going off, do something crazy, like grab her, hold her, and look her deep in the eyes and go, I flippin' love you, you crazy woman. I'm not going anywhere. She will melt in your arms. She will absolutely, she may go, no, but this is a secret. She will melt in your arms. Do not run from her. Instead, embrace her. In those moments where you feel like you want to go in the complete opposite direction, head straight for her. And you will find you will benefit in so many ways from that.
I love it. And I think it's most important as well, because sometimes when you go in, right, and this is the thing for guys, especially like for my own self, I've told them from experience, sometimes we go in and it's like, stay away, I don't want you here, I don't want you here, right?
I know. It's a fake stay away, I don't want you. Yeah. You know what, sisters, I have to reveal this. Guys, when your woman says she wants you to get away, I need my time, she's actually saying, are you really gonna love me in this moment when I'm resisting you? It's a test. It's a test. How much will you love me when I scream and shout and go, no, and you turn and you hold her and look her in the eyes like you're not going anywhere, and you say, I love you, you're crazy, and I love you.
I laugh because I know that feeling where like you're bloody crazy, but God, I still love you a lot.
Yeah. Because right? You know something, Richard? The other side to crazy is passionate. The other side to crazy, because the exact way that she's hot in the bedroom, she's going to be crazy as hell outside of the bedroom. So if you want your evenings to be wonderful, then your daytime's got to be the same.
Oh, so much truth getting unraveled right here.
I'm telling you.
And then Suzanne, I was talking to Satyan offline before, right? And he's like, I'm like, what do I ask Suzanne? He's like, ask her this one thing. And I'm excited that we're getting into this topic, because he's like, ask her, what do women really want, right, from men?
What do women really want?
Yeah, like, so there's all these tests that get thrown out in the men's ways. And, one of the things that you just mentioned before was really get into that presence, right? And this is what you teach you guys a lot, is like, just look her in the eyes and just be there, and then get into the depths of you and her. And so what else do women want that guys are not clued in on? What do you think is one of the big things that women want that guys aren't getting?
Well, yes, presence is huge for us. Huge. Presence is when you're standing there when you least want to with us, that makes us feel cherished. We want to feel cherished by you. Do you know? Not just like I say in the daytime. I mean, in the evening, but in the daytime. Another thing that I'll give you this, that we really, really want is we want to feel like we are the one. We want to feel like we are number one with you.
Yeah.
We want to feel like you've claimed our hearts, like you've staked claim to our heart, and you will protect that at all costs. We want to feel that claim. Why? So then we can surrender and we can let go, and we can go, oh, there he is. He's standing there strong. Okay, I can let go, and I can be the wild woman, or I can be the soft, gentle woman. All of the spectrum with you. You want all the spectrum? Then you got to claim us, because otherwise we're going to fly off. We're going to find some other place that will claim us. You claim us. You stand there with your feet held down, and you go, you're mine. Then that's it. That's it. We're gone. We're yours.
Love it. And so for the guys who are listening here, they're like, okay, I got to make her number one, right? And, guys, we take things very literally. So it's like, all right, every time, number one. But what does it really mean, right? Like run us through this, right? Like, what does it really mean to make her number one? Because I know from my own experience and from, our discussions here, is like, when we say make your woman number one, it makes her feel like she's number one. Doesn't mean you have to put her at number one every minute of the 24 hours in a day, isn't it?
Good point. So make her number one means that, can you feel and know what it is that's going on for her in this moment? Like, is she hungry? Does she need to like, does she have an itch? Does she need to, like, what would make her heart? What would make her, and take a moment and stop and go, if you're important to me, I want to know, what do you love? What's something that you love? And make it so that you know what she loves, to the point where you say to her, I know what you love right now. You need to go outside in the sunshine. Oh my God. That makes her feel like she's number one. You've taken the time to stop and go, notice her. You notice her like you notice something that's valuable to you. If there's something that's valuable to you, you know all about it. Well, you got to know your woman. When you know your woman and start to take interest in her, then that makes her feel like she's number one. And that has her go, oh my God, he just noticed that I was thirsty. What? Calls up her friend. Oh my God. You know, her friend's going to go, what did you do in the bedroom last night? Because you've got to do that tonight. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, things like that. That's why buying flowers for your woman is not just a little thing. Maybe she doesn't. Flower means I thought of you. Means you're important to me.
And it's like when you see like she's gone out for a haircut and you notice that it's not actually about the haircut, is it? It's about I notice you.
Exactly.
Exactly. Wow. Man.
It's like, oh, you're mine, you know, like, wow, that's awesome. You're mine. You're mine. You know, that's what it feels like. And so she's like, yeah, I am.
And it comes back to what we were talking about before. Then it's all about how just to get interested, always interested again and again and again, isn't it?
Yes.
Absolutely. Amazing. Right. And there's a question here that pops into my mind, Suzanne, is like, you know, this is once again a little tidbit from Satyan, right? And he's saying like, so for men, right? I mean, there's a masculine, we both know that there's two types of energies, right? There's a feminine energy and then there's masculine energy. And, you know, for men, most of us think a masculine energy is like, you know, we've got to go out and do stuff, blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm tough, I'm strong, I'm here, right? But then how does a man actually transform himself? Because sometimes a man needs to get into his femininity, right? And sometimes that can be helpful to, I guess, lead the relationship, right? Or even lead his own business or whatever it is. So what's a trait of that, and how can guys do it in a way that's not so wussy-like?
Okay. So there's masculine energy and feminine energy. We have both of that in us. So it's not men or women. So a man will have masculine energy and feminine energy in them. A woman will have masculine energy and feminine energy in her. So masculine energy is about mission, you know, having a mission, going forward, having a purpose. That's the highest value of a masculine being. Someone who's more masculine, man or woman. Feminine is about the flow of love, you know, the flow, relationship, and that there's no barrier to relationship, and that there's a flow in that. Okay, so you've got relationship flow and you've got the mission go.
Yep. All
right. So I don't know if Satyan told you about this, but there's something called polarity. And polarity is when one is playing it's got the masculine vibe going on, and one has got the feminine vibe going on. And as long as two people have one predominantly or the other predominantly, and they're both opposite, then you've got attraction. Yep. But so your question, I went off a little bit there. So your question is not about him getting more feminine energy. It's about what would serve the relationship in the moment.
Correct. Yeah. So like sometimes the woman, right, or your partner will go into the masculine, and then it's like, if you're a guy, you can't stay in the masculine because then it's just like, you know, butting heads, right? And so how do you transform into being more feminine, but in a way that's not like seen as weak or, you know, like just a wussy.
Right. So this is about in your intimate times. Okay. In your intimate times, and you can play with, so she's being more masculine, and because I'm like that with my husband, I like take him, oh, come here, like this. I want to have that too, right?
Yeah.
I'm predominantly feminine. You can see me flowing. I'm all like this, like this. You over there, Richard, you're very like, okay, here's the question. You know, this is the mission. And that's why this is alive, this conversation, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so in relationship in our bedroom, so it's like, oh, okay, so then he's going to take on the feminine flow of that, and then, I'll take him like this, but then we'll switch. And then he will be more masculine and I will be more feminine. But you've got to know which one you are. And you've got to be able to be strong in that. That's a whole other conversation. But, you know, it's like if I'm more feminine. So if I'm being more masculine with my partner in a feminine, if I'm being more masculine with him, what that does is that actually, that doesn't play out very well in our relationship. Similarly for Satyen, he's more masculine. So he's got to strengthen that side with him, be around more masculine guys. And, you know, there's a whole other discussion we can get into next time.
Right. So I get you. So it sounds like get into the core of really understanding what type of energy you're in, right? And what's most natural for you, because there's one that's going to predominantly be the more stronger one, right?
Exactly. And feed that. Feed that.
And if people are confused, if they're sitting there listening and go, yeah, I get you, but how do I know? How do I know if I'm actually like more of a masculine type of guy or more of a feminine type of guy? What are some things they can do to actually like figure it out for themselves?
Okay, so you're a more masculine type of guy. If you are more mission based, if it's like, okay, what I got to know my purpose. I have to know the answers to these questions so that I can move forward, so I can attain freedom. Freedom is your highest. You like freedom.
Yes.
If that is something that is most important in your heart, freedom. In movies you watch, let's say like, oh God, you know, like I got to get to, yes, it's freedom. Oh, it's free. Finally. Oh God, from the constraints. Yes. You're more masculine. If you are more interested in the drama of the movie, let's say, of, oh, will she finally find him, or will he finally make the drama of all that, you're more feminine, because it's about relationship, you know? So if you're more relationship based, if love is at the heart of what you go, of your heart, and for the most part, then you're more feminine for the most part. Not that you're not have love if you're masculine, but if freedom is the most important for you, then you're more masculine.
Interesting. And something comes up into my mind here, Suzanne, as you're talking about that. It's like, can your core actually change? Can your core essence of your masculinity or femininity change with you as well? Or do you think it's like a static thing?
I think your core is who you are at your core. What you are at your core is really you. But how you may be feeling your moment to moment shifting may shift. You know, you may feel like you want to be in a more feminine moment at times. You know, you may feel like you want to go out and play music and, you know, just sit around and just like listen to the music and, you know, hang out at the beach and be, you know, just laid back and all of that with no particular goal. Then you're in a more of a feminine moment. But your core may be masculine. Freedom may be at your center. But it's moment to moment thing. I'm very schedule oriented. I love scheduling and all of that. I have a feminine heart. For me, it's about the flow of love, and if relationship is flowing. But boy, get me in the scheduling thing, and I can do that. But if I'm doing that too much, then what happens is it pulls at how juicy I can be. And if I'm flowy as a man who is a more masculine man, then what happens is you tend to not be able to make decisions.
Yeah.
Like you, right?
Yeah.
It's something that you need to have to be able to be free of constraints. You need to be able to be solid and make decisions.
And I love that you bring that up and the reason why I laughed when you were mentioning that, I was like, oh man, that was me, right? That's why I asked that question, because I'm like, if you seriously look back a few years back, right, I'd be the very flowy type of guy, right? Very feminine type of guy. And it's just like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I kind of know what I'd want, right? And then you're like, oh, if you're in there, and I think this is what's interesting that you point out, is that if you're in there, it's moment to moment, but if those moments link up consistently, right, over months, years, whatever, then you end up losing it. And then it's like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, damn, that was me. That was me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Love it. And now, I love that you mentioned that, masculinity is about the freedom. It's about freedom to do what he wants or what she wants, right? And really go after that and just go after that mission. So it's beautifully said. And so, Suzanne, it pains me here that we have to wrap up so soon. I can't believe it's been so quick, right? And
what a pleasure speaking. This is fun.
Of course, Suzanne, but we're not even finished. We're going to go into some quick fire questions, if that's cool with you, right, as we wrap up the show. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Sure.
So the first question we have here, Suzanne, is our signature question. It's the time travel moment. It's, if you could go back in any time of your life, 10, 15, 20 years, whatever it is, to talk to little Suzanne and give her one piece of advice that today, what time would you go back to and what would you tell her?
I know exactly when it would be.
Excellent.
It would be when, I'm originally from Jamaica. And so I come from the Caribbean, where there's lots of life, music, dance, color, all of that. And I remember a time when my godmother took me to the theater. And I would sit in the theater and I'd watch the movement and the dance, and I'd be in awe. I sat there, and what I would do, I would go back in time to the little Susie sitting there in the theater, and I'd whisper in her ear and I'd say, remember who you are. And remember, you're going to remember this when I speak. You're going to travel and you're going to go to a different place that's not like this. But just don't forget where you come from. Don't forget, you don't need to let go of your culture, let go of your heritage. Remember that it's strong, and remember it molds you and it's a part of you. I would tell myself that, because this is something that I've had to grow into and remember who I am. And this is what I teach the women that I work with, is to remember that it's that beauty, that strength, that power that you were born with. Grow that and don't dampen it in any way. Just bring it alive, like the theater that I was in.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Love that. I love that. And this moves into the next question then. So, Suzanne, I know you've probably read a lot of books, and for people who are listening here, and let's pick one in terms of love and relationships, right? If there was an absolute must read, right, book for that, what would you recommend?
For relationships?
Yeah.
I would have to say, by our mentor, David Data, Intimate Communion.
Oh,
Did
okay.
Sasha say that? I don't know if he said. I don't even know if you asked him that question.
No.
For relationship.
Okay. Awesome. We'll put that into the show. Yeah. The author of The Way of the Superior Man, right? That guy.
Well, yes. And, he's just a wizard of knowledge, when it comes to relationship. And we learned a lot from him, and highly recommend the book Intimate Communion. It talks about the masculine and the feminine, and the questions that you were asking about. Who am I? Which, how do I know what I am, and all of that? It's all in that book.
Awesome. We'll put that in the show notes. And as we close it up here, Suzanne, just a few more here. This is one of our favorite ones. It's a question about the modern man, right? For the men listening, and I love your point of view on this, right? Is, the modern world today, Suzanne, it's at a certain level, and I think men aren't living up to that level that the world needs us to be at, right? And if I was to ask, what does the world need more of men, right? What would you say? What do you think the world needs more of from men right now?
What does the world need more of men? God, I have to say, men are so awesome. Men are so flippin' awesome. And this, I know the...
Hello, Suzanne. I lost you there.
Am I back?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. What was your answer?
What I was going to say first, I have to answer it this way. Men, you are awesome, and you are trying so hard. And I feel that. I feel that in the world, that men are like, what can we do? What can we do? And I'm like, you're so good. First, I want you to get, you're so flippin' great, right as you are right now first. And then to have that question, what can we do? That's what I want you to do. I want you to ask that question. What can we do? Having that intention, first off, makes you that much higher, even in my estimation. And what can you do? You can get together with men that you respect and be around them and pick and find out from their brains, find out what is it that got them to this place and model that. Find a mentor that you look up to, that can serve you in being the highest and the best that you can be. Because we've got so much on the television, so much on the news of what is going wrong and what's going wrong with men, but there are good men in the world. Find yourself a mentor that you trust and that you look up to, and attach yourself, get your anchor to that mentor and have them guide you forward. I would suggest that.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. I love that so much. And we move into here. The second last question here I have for you, Suzanne, is, what's true love? Like, how would you describe what is true love?
True love. True love is an action. True love is an action that you take towards anyone, to others. That is what true love is. So whether it's with your child, with your parent, with your lover, true love is an action that you take, and you look at that as 100% your responsibility. That is true love.
I just got to give it some space there because that is awesome. And as we wrap up, one last one here, Suzanne. If you had 30 seconds left to live and, you're surrounded by your family, right? Satyan, all the people that you've made an impact on, all your friends, what's the one piece of advice you'd leave them with?
I'd leave them with the advice of make sure that you squeeze every inch of life. Live life to its fullest so that there's not even a drop left of life to live. That you've given it and you've loved. You have loved without holding back, 1,000%, with no regrets. And don't wait until it's the time for the funeral to say, I love you. Say, I love you now. Right now.
Suzanne, this has been so much fun. I love it so much. And I want to say thank you so much for jumping on the show. It really means a lot to me.
Thank you, Richard.
For people who want to learn more about yourself and where's the best place they can find you, Suzanne?
The best place that you can find me, find out more about what I'm up to, find out about Satyan and I and all this great stuff that we offer, go to WarriorSage.com. WarriorSage.com.
Awesome. We'll add that into the show notes. And so, Suzanne, once again, thank you so much. Was there anything on the show that, we didn't get to cover that you'd love to, mention here?
Well, the last thing that I want to say is ignite passion, live freedom, and embody love.
Suzanne Raja, guys. Thank you again, Suzanne. Great to have you on.
Thank you so much.
And guys, this wraps up another episode of the Forge Your Life podcast. Today with Suzanne Raja, the embodiment of love. And because she has so much love in her, guys, we need to send this out, right? We don't want to keep this a secret. We need to get it out there. So head on to iTunes and rate the show so it gets out there so that we can share her message and Satyan's and everyone else's message out there. And of course, you can head on over to richardfood.com for the show notes. And remember to go out there, go live with love, guys, and go smash it. And I'll see you again on the next one. Bye.